Imagine waking up tomorrow and the person you love most in this world looks at you with empty eyes, like you're a stranger they've never met. Your name means nothing. Your shared memories, the inside jokes, the moments that defined your relationship, all of it gone from their mind, like it never existed. But here's the twist that'll haunt you. Somewhere deep inside their fractured consciousness, a small part of them is fighting desperately to remember you. Clawing through the darkness, screaming your name into a void that refuses to answer back. This isn't science fiction. This is the brutal reality of watching someone you love slip into the shadows of dementia, Alzheimer's, or traumatic brain injury. And if this thought terrifies you, if it makes your chest tight, good. Because we need to talk about what happens when love becomes a one-sided conversation with a ghost who's still breathing. Before we dive deeper into this emotional nightmare, do me a favor. Hit that like button right now, because what I'm about to share might change how you value every single moment with the people you care about. And subscribe, because we explore the silent battles happening inside the human mind. The struggles nobody talks about at dinner parties, but everyone secretly fears in the middle of the night. So what really happens when the person you love becomes a memory fighting to stay alive? The answer is both simpler and more devastating than you think. You're forced to become the keeper of a relationship they can no longer access, holding onto enough love for both of you while watching the person you knew dissolve piece day by day, like a photograph left too long in the sun. You become their memory, their historian, their anchor to a past they can't retrieve. And simultaneously, you have to grieve someone who's still physically present, still breathing, still existing in front of you, which doctors call ambiguous loss. And it's one of the most psychologically complex forms of grief humans can experience, because there's no closure, no funeral, no final goodbye, just this agonizing middle space where you're loving a person and mourning them at the exact same time. Now, I know what you're thinking. This is heavy. Maybe too heavy for a Tuesday afternoon. But stick with me, because understanding this matters more than you realize. Not just for those currently living this reality, but for all of us. Because any one of us could find ourselves on either side of this equation tomorrow. Let me paint you a picture of what this actually looks like in real life. It starts small, almost laughably small. They forget where they put their keys. They repeat the same story twice in one evening. They struggle to find a word that used to come easily, and you laugh it off. You both do, because everyone forgets things, right? But then the moments start stacking up like unwanted receipts in your pocket. They forget your anniversary, not just the date, but that it happened at all. They introduce you to their friend as their companion instead of their spouse of 20 years. They get confused about whether you've had dinner yet, asking you 4 times in 30 minutes. And then comes the day that breaks you, the day they look at you with genuine confusion and ask, "I'm sorry, but who are you exactly?" And you realize the person staring back at you is both everything you love and a complete stranger wearing their face. The cruel irony, and trust me, this will mess with your head, is that sometimes they remember. Not fully, not clearly, but there are these moments, these brief, shining moments, where the clouds part and you see them again, the real them. And they look at you with recognition. Maybe even say your name, touch your face the way they used to. And for exactly 5 seconds, you get to feel hope, only to watch them slip away again moments later, leaving you more devastated than before, because now you know what you're losing over and over again. Researchers have found that people with dementia often retain emotional memory even when factual memory fails, which means they might not remember your name or how they know you, but they remember the feeling of safety, of love, of home that you represent. And isn't that simultaneously beautiful and absolutely soul-crushing? Here's where it gets even more complex. Are you ready for this? You have to decide who you're going to be in this situation. Do you correct them every time they get something wrong, constantly reminding them of their deteriorating reality? Do you play along with whatever timeline they're living in that day, whether they think they're 25 years old or that their long-dead mother is coming for dinner? Do you show them photos hoping to trigger memories, or does that just frustrate both of you when the connections don't spark? There's no playbook for this, no instruction manual titled "How to Love Someone Who's Forgetting You Exist," and every expert will tell you something different, because every situation, every person, every relationship is unique. But here's what the people living this will tell you. You learn to meet them where they are. If they think it's 1987, you talk about 1987. If they don't recognize you as their partner, but they're calm and happy, you don't force the recognition. You become flexible with reality, because rigidity only creates suffering for both of you. You learn that love isn't just about being remembered, it's about showing up, about caring for someone, even when they can't thank you, can't acknowledge you, can't even comprehend what you're sacrificing for them. And let me tell you, that kind of love will either destroy you or transform you into someone you never knew you could be. There's really no middle ground here. Now, pause for a second, because I need you to consider something uncomfortable. What if you're the one who forgets? What if you're the person who wakes up one day and can't remember the life you built, the person you promised forever to, the children you raised? There's evidence suggesting that some people with dementia, in their lucid moments, are acutely aware that they're losing themselves. Imagine knowing that you're disappearing, feeling your thoughts scatter like startled birds every time you try to hold on to them. Watching your loved ones' faces crumple with sadness when you can't remember something you know you should remember. It's a special kind of terror, being trapped inside a mind that's betraying you. And the worst part is that small, fragile part of consciousness that's still you, still fighting, still trying to hold onto the memories that matter most, knowing you're losing the battle, but unable to stop the retreat. The person you love hasn't disappeared. They're imprisoned in their own biology. And if they could speak from that place, what do you think they'd say? The truth that nobody wants to acknowledge is this. This situation reveals everything about who we are as humans. Some people rise to the occasion with a grace and dedication that would make saints weep. They quit their jobs. They restructure their entire lives. They spend hours showing photo albums and telling stories. They hold hands and sing old songs and create moments of connection in whatever form is possible. Others, and we need to be honest about this, they can't handle it. They place their loved one in care facilities. They visit less and less frequently. They start to grieve and move on while the person is still alive. And before you judge them too harshly, understand that watching someone you love disappear is a trauma that some people simply don't have the psychological infrastructure to withstand. And maybe that's okay too. Maybe survival looks different for everyone. But here's the thing that'll stick with you long after this video ends. The memories don't actually die. They're transformed. They shift from being shared property to becoming yours alone, to protect and preserve. You become the vessel carrying the story of your relationship, the only witness to countless private moments that now exist solely in your consciousness. And there's something profound about that responsibility. You're keeping someone alive in a way that transcends their failing biology. Every time you tell a story about them, every time you remember for both of you, you're engaging in an act of defiant love against the cruelty of neurological deterioration. You're saying, this person mattered, this love was real, and I will not let it be erased. And honestly, that's one of the most powerful things a human being can do. So what's the answer to our impossible question? When the person you love becomes a memory fighting to stay alive, what happens? You discover that love isn't about recognition or reciprocity. It's about presence, about choosing someone even when they can't choose you back, about finding meaning in moments that seem meaningless, about holding space for someone's humanity when they can't hold on to it themselves. Where cement, you so wend, you could be and we is so, you is so, you will redo. We is so, we is so, we is so, we you me you you that they used to you that do to when you have this have you so that they you learn that the human mind can be fragile, but the human heart can be unbreakably resilient. You realize that memory isn't just stored in one person's brain. It's distributed across all the people who witnessed it, which means, in a strange way, we're all keeping each other alive through our collective remembering. And maybe, just maybe, you understand that this could be any of us tomorrow, which means the moments you have right now, the clarity, the connection, the ability to look someone in the eyes and have them truly see you back. These aren't guaranteed. They're gifts, and like all gifts, they're temporary. The person you love won't always remember your name, but if you've loved them, well, they'll remember the feeling. And sometimes, when biology strips away everything else, feeling is all that matters. That's what happens when someone you love becomes a memory fighting to stay alive. You fight alongside them, not to win because you can't, but because love isn't about victory. It's about not abandoning someone in their darkest hour, even when they don't remember you're there.